Yeah. I would like to call to order the Board of Education meeting for Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Are there any speakers related to closed session topics? Seeing none, the board will convene to closed session.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2. ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Board will now convene open session and report out from closed session. Open session of the Board of Education meeting is live on YouTube. Visit the NHUSD Board of Education webpage for the link. If you're attending online via Zoom, use the raise hand feature to indicate you wish to provide public comment. Phone participants should press *9 to be added to the queue and wait to be called on. Community members may submit public comments to the board via email at publiccomment@nhusd.k12.ca.us before each meeting. The board received 3 public comments via email for tonight's meeting. I would like to remind the public that the board will not be responding to questions posed by those making public comments. Relative to closed session items 3A, 3B, and 3C, the board took no action. Vice President Rafe will now lead us in the procedural items.
Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. May I have a roll call, please?
Present.
Here.
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 Approval of agenda. Please note that a revision has been made to an attachment on tonight's agenda. One line item has been removed from the list attached to item 14, approval of contracts under 10,000. An updated copy of this agenda item is available on the table to the blue card, and the attachment has been updated on the electronic agenda as well. May I have a motion and second to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
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 Aye. Land acknowledgement.
How about you do it this one?
Do you want me to do? Okay.
I don't mind. We want to open up this meeting by acknowledging with respect and love that the land we are on today is the traditional ancestral homeland of the Ohlone Chochenyo First People. We recognize and thank the Ohlone people as the original stewards of this land. Indigenous people must not be spoken about in past context as if they left on their own when the real causes were white supremacy, manifest destiny, and US colonization. By recognizing we stand on the occupied indigenous territory of the Ohlone people, we recommit ourselves to listen to Native leadership and stand in solidarity with people struggling against systems of oppression throughout the world, past and present.
I'll pass it to President Kumar.
Thank you, Vice President Rafe and Trustee Freeberg. We're going to move on to item 6.1, public comment on topics that are not on the agenda. Are there any blue cards for topics not on the agenda?
There are. We have several of them. First one is Gavin Smith.
All right, good evening, Board President Kumar, trustees, Dr. Thompson and staff, and members of the community here and at home. I wanted to share some observations as a parent of 2 Logan graduates, one that just graduated last year, and I'm beginning my 26th year teaching at Logan. And I wanted to share some positive observations that I've made this year so far. It's always refreshing to return to campus and the classroom, and more importantly to students. I'm one of these weird teachers that get bored about 3 weeks into summer break, and I'm ready to come back. And this year brings a new group of 9th graders, as always, and I've heard very positive things, talking with Mr. Polk, even to the extent of having positive influences on some of the other students that we've already had on campus, sophomores and such. I began this school year, actually before the school year started, at the new hire orientation, where we welcomed over 50 new hires to the district. Some of them are returning, of course. At Logan, we have a new administrator, Suki Sadhu. She was a counselor. She's doing a great job. Really excited to have her there. We have a new EL TOSA, Raquel Fay, and she's been very busy. I've been working with her as well, and I can just say that I've been impressed with her energy. And then finally, I just want to say hats off to Dr. Thompson. I know I walk around, sixth period is my prep period, and so I tend to be moving, and it's right after lunch, and I've seen on more than one occasion last year, but also this year, Dr. Thompson's been there for whatever reasons, and it just, to me, it shows a pattern of care and just awareness of our campus. So I appreciate that as a teacher, and thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Okay, next up, Michelle Parnella.
Good evening, President Kumar, trustees, superintendent, staff. I hope your recent study session on ethics and integrity was productive, and I hope we all have a better understanding of what conflict of interest is and that trustees should not be voting on their own agenda items involving board stipends. So tonight's board policy in question is Board Policy 9320, which reads, regular meetings. Unless otherwise determined by the board shall hold 2 regular meetings each month. So here we are on the first Tuesday. But according to the meeting minutes from December 17th, this board approved a calendar full of first Tuesdays, but neglected to calendar any third Tuesdays. So my question is, does this board recognize that they are out of order with its own policy? Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Bernala.
Next up is Kat Kier.
Hello. In light of recent events throughout the US and particularly the most recent Supreme Court decision, I'm hoping that the board will pass a resolution declaring NHUSD to be a sanctuary district. In essence, this would assure district families, students, and staff that NHUSD will not collaborate with ICE or other federal immigration enforcement. There is precedent for this in our local community, including Hayward Unified and Oakland Unified, both of which adopted sanctuary resolutions in 2016. The ACLU also has resources and suggestions for school board members regarding what such a resolution should include and specific measures that school boards should be taking to protect families during the current political climate. A sanctuary resolution would be a clear statement that would go a long way to reassuring our tight-knit community and our diverse community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kier.
Next is Susie Garcia.
Good evening. I'm here about the integrity of this board. I'm so disgusted with you, especially you and her and him that's missing tonight, especially because you voted. He should have not have been voting. What are we teaching the children in this district? That if you lie and cheat your way through an election and you don't get caught, it's okay. But when you bring it up, you just deny. Shame on you, Pat Irby. Shame on you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
Okay, next is El Gonzalez.
Good evening. I'm here to speak about the critical issue of residency requirements for elected officials. State law is very clear. Elected officials must live within the jurisdiction they serve. Violations can lead to severe consequences, including forfeiture of office, a 4-year ban on holding public office, and potential criminal or civil penalties. It is absolutely vital that the letter and spirit of this law are followed, ensuring that members representing our community actually live in the community and districts they are elected to represent. If the board finds sufficient evidence that Trustee Gonzalez has indeed ceased to be a resident of Trustee Area 3, it has a legal obligation under Government Code Section 1770 to declare the seat vacant. This is not an act of removal, but rather the board formally recognizing an automatic vacancy that has already occurred by the operation of law the moment the trustee moved out of their district. As stated in the provided information, a resolution would simply be the board's formal action to acknowledge this legal fact, much like if a trustee had passed away. However, it is also clear that such a resolution cannot be based on rumors, but must be supported by factual basis and evidence. I ask the board to be prepared to act decisively and legally should that evidence emerge. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez.
Next, Michael Gardner.
Hey, everybody. Michael Gardner, just speaking as an individual. I want to share a win I had in study skills this week or last week when I wrote this. Resource department and special education is often hard to recognize. We support students with mild, often hard to recognize disabilities, but this is a great example of what we do on a daily basis. Now, one of my specialties is autism. Though I'm not diagnosed with myself, I'm definitely somewhere on the autistic spectrum, and my lived experience gives me some insight into the struggles and strategies that can help my students. So not long ago, a group of my students were making flashcards. Right in front of me, one of the students who's on the spectrum blurts out to his friend, "Why you keep cutting 6th period class? I haven't seen you all month." Even though I know that was with good intentions, it's not a way to keep your friends. Obviously, I care very much about my students' attendance in 6th period, but know that this kind of behavior unaddressed would hurt my students' future. This is a common struggle for people on the autistic spectrum. Many of the social rules are hard to recognize, and without meaning to, we can offend people. Thankfully, these two students knew each other really well, and so we did a role play. First, the student on the spectrum observed. I played the student who cut class, and the student who was cutting class played the worried student. We all switched roles, and everyone had a part, and he took a turn in each part. The activity was especially hard for the student on the spectrum. He complained it felt forced and faked. It was actually pretty upset. But I was able to share my own experiences. In my younger years, I would offend people and hurt people without intending to. This sometimes still happens. I talked about how practicing social actions made me better. I worked in a restaurant business and had to have scripted conversations, which was good practice, especially got paid if you did it right. And then I also shared about how Dungeons and Dragons, you play a character and you change how you act. So those are things that I still make mistakes now, but helped me get better over the years. And something about this conversation really quick with the student, they got very excited and started talking about all the various symptoms they have on the spectrum. Oh, never mind. But the good news is the student did go to 6th period after that. Thank you.
Mr. Gardner.
Next is Janice Fontenot.
Good evening, all. I live in District 3 with Trustee Gonzalez's area district. And as a constituent and an educator, I strongly urge the board to uphold the highest standards of integrity, ensure that all elected members truly represent the area they live within and their districts. And we ask that you all communicate openly with the community to preserve and assure trust is, can keep our trust in the leadership here. I also, and the schools, I'd also like to thank the crew and those who were involved in the cleanup that was taking place at Pioneer Elementary of the hate symbols, the swastika and the N-word. Those are really hate-filled items on walls to be seen by children. And I want to just add that the FBI annual hate crime statistics reports that anti-Jewish hate crimes account for 70% of what is happening out there in the communities. So with that, I emphasize the need for curriculum that assures that all children feel included and are not othered. These are challenging times. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fantino.
And last, not on the agenda speaker is Bianca Gentry.
Good evening. I stand here respectfully to let you all know that anti-Blackness and danger are thriving in the classrooms. We hear a lot about how much you care about our Black community, but we continue to be targeted and treated with disregard. I've been fighting the anti-Blackness in this district since 2016, which is when I started, and it's been here long before. When will we be seen as a group of people worthy of your care and your protection? I beg you to make us a priority so we can live comfortably in spaces we choose to be or must be. I came from one site to seek refuge only to experience the same harm, which makes me believe this is that the district approves of this culture. You cannot say you care about us when our kids don't even want to be in the classroom and when we don't even want to come to work. We are real people with real feelings, not just a body in a seat or a teacher in a classroom. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. Do we have any speakers on Zoom for topics that are not on the agenda? No, okay. All right, we're going to move on to public comment on topics on the agenda.
All right, we have some speaker cards. First is Lydia Edom.
Good evening, Board, President Kumar, Superintendent Thompson, staff, the public. My name is Lydia Edom. I'm a parent in this district. My youngest is at Logan. And I am also school site council chair at James Logan High School. James Logan is going through a modernization, and I'm not sure that the community is adequately aware. I received 2 emails that I was chosen to be on the committee. Thank you to those who chose me. There was a survey that went out. I think that survey should be broader. I think it should go out to the entire community. I think you can utilize the foundation's alumni connections to reach out to alumni. Logan has a very long history in this community, as we're all well aware, and some of that is captured on the walls throughout Logan that is intended to be torn down. So, and that's just one issue amongst many that have been surfaced because I did share the survey and I did ask folks in my network so that I can carry their voice into that meeting. I don't know who's all in that meeting. So we'll find out on the 11th, and maybe I'm preempting what's going to be presented to us on the 11th, but I'm asking for the board to give instruction to staff to hold town halls, to send out an email with that survey to get a broader reach. We should have tens of thousands of responses given how many Logan alumni are on this planet, quite frankly. And so I was a little concerned. I was happy to see the email about the committee being formed. I was going to come here tonight to talk about that or in a previous meeting. But now I just think that the reach is to a token few, and that's not adequate or sufficient. Thank you. Oh, since I'm here on the agenda, which that wasn't, I am on the agenda, 17 seconds. I'm here to support D3A's presentation tonight. I am the incoming chair for this new school year, and I'm really proud of the body of work that these women are going to present tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edom.
Next is Nzinga Arrington.
Good evening, everyone. As my speaker card states, I'm here in support of the D3A presentation for this evening. I'm also an alumni of James Logan High School, and I am raising my second child through the New Haven School District. My first one is a graduate also, and now my second one is going on to Logan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Arrington.
Next is Ivan Phillips.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ivan Phillips. This is my wife, Angelica Phillips. We're here in support of D3A. As parents of a freshman at Logan, we're here to talk about or discuss the N-word. Now, our daughter has gone through some stuff that has seriously affected her and impacted her. And I would like to see more consequences or hear more consequences. And I would also like her to be protected if she decides to step up and speak against it. I don't want her to be harassed or bullied or targeted.
Yeah, just here in support of the African American Advisory Committee. I'm also an alumni. My parents are alumni. We have an older daughter who's 23, who's a Logan alumni. So we are We live here, we're committed, and we're listening and we're watching.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips.
And finally, Sharice Crocker-Root.
Thank you all. I'm Sheree Crocker-Root. I'm also here in support of the DA3 presentation this evening. I'm also a parent in the district. I'm here tonight to express my gratitude and support for the district's swift and thoughtful response to the recent hate-related incidents at Pioneer Elementary, and also the huge outpouring and undertaking that is taken for them to get into the elementary schools early this year. So I'm really thankful that they're doing that and hitting the elementary schools. And rolling out the anti-N-word initiative, and specifically the family contracts at home. A fifth grader was really excited to bring it home yesterday. And I want to thank you and applaud for you guys, your support of providing that empathy at a proactive education at a very young age. Right now you can see we're on the front lines. I'm responsible at home as a parent, just as well as the administrators are responsible for enforcing it. Every dollar spent, every action needed, even our diverse community here in Union City. As Kat said earlier today, the highest law in the land this week gave passage to racial profiling in raids and deportation. In most cases, families are being ripped apart while abiding with the law. Protecting anti-hate acts in all forms, speech and bullying for one individual, one group of people, is for everyone. I also want to voice my full support for any and all funding, future funding secured for this initiative, anti-bullying programs at the elementary school level, and my continued support of the dignity and belonging education efforts. Everyone, I hope you go to the barbecue on the 18th. Our students need to learn that hateful words and symbols have no place in our schools and our community. Thank you guys for your commitment to creating a safe and respectful environment. The work is not done, but it will be continued. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Root.
That's it.
Do we have any speakers on Zoom for topics on the agenda or no? We have one? Good.
Good evening. My name is Akila Bird. I am a parent of a freshman at Logan. My oldest child is 24 years old, also alumni, as well as a second 19-year-old who went through Logan. I'm here this evening to express my support of the District African American Parent Advisory. I am also the incoming vice chair to D3A. And I hope to see more done with the policies around the N-word and the protection for not just our African American students, but as well as the teachers and anyone who has felt harm within the New Haven Unified School District. So I look forward to seeing the presentation by D3A, and I hope that there continues to be actions with interrupting any of the inequities that we continue to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bird. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to item 8, reports from our labor partners. We'll start with the CSEA president. Do we have them here? No. All right, NHTA president, Mr. Henderson.
Good evening, school board, Superintendent Thompson, directors, parents, guardians, and community members. I first want to start with an omission from my last report. I was nervous, and in my anxiousness, I forgot to mention a thank you that is really well deserved. One of our members and the vice president of our union, Kimberly DeBono, stepped up in a big way last year. In a vacancy in the presidency, she played the role of president and also a full-time classroom teacher, and she did an amazing job. Frankly, I don't know how she did it. This president's job is full-time, as I'm experiencing firsthand. And she was doing two full-time positions at once. So we all owe her a debt of gratitude for keeping things moving in the right direction. So thank you, Kim. All right, now that's done. I mentioned that last meeting. We have had an eventful beginning to our school year with 1/8 of the year already behind us. Report cards were turned in at Logan, which means we're 1/8 of the way already through the year. I can't believe this happened that quickly. My math could be off on that, but that's my recollection of the report card gauntlet. Anyway, we have done a really good job so far, I believe, in building community in the classrooms and our extracurricular activities and all of the things that all of the people at in New Haven and at James Logan, everywhere else do. And the real work of educating our students this year is now in full swing. To that end, the union and management is working closely together to solve issues as they arise. And we have identified some issues that need attention, and the teams together, both the management team and the union team, are actively working. We've talked about issues for several weeks in a row now that we're working on, and it feels like we are making progress toward a lot of the issues that have arisen. To that end, we have had several union meetings already, and we have our last round of meetings with the superintendent consult tomorrow. And I look forward to working together and making this the best district possible together from both teams. The only other update that I have tonight is around bargaining. The union bargaining team will meet tomorrow and begin the important work of updating the contract, looking at potentially 2 articles and negotiating salary for the last year of our current contract. This year will also begin the opening of the next contract covering the school years beyond the 26 and 27 school year. And I'm hopeful that these will be productive conversations in attracting and keeping the best educators in the East Bay. One of the reasons I'm here is that was the case in 2004 when I was hired in this district. More to come on that story. We will have more on that process during the next report. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson. All right, next up is item 9A. We have a presentation from D3A, the District African American Advisory.
Good evening. Just a matter of clarification. We have a 2-minute timer here. I'm assuming we should not pay attention to the timer, correct? Awesome. Thank you so much. Good evening to the board, to Superintendent Thompson, to all who are in attendance today. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. I'm Lily Turner. I'm a charter member of the District African American Advisory. I have been in New Haven for almost 30 years. I've been an active parent. I've had 6 kids to come through the district, and I'm still here. I'm a very proud community member. I feel like New Haven is a part of me, and I'm a part of New Haven. And so I continue to invest here because I believe that it is an investment that brings a good return. And so tonight I'm here with my colleague, Karan Smith, to present the D3A annual presentation that is in compliance with our Memorandum of Understanding. Gina, are we who are we instructing to move slides along?
We do have a technical issue with the slides. We're bringing them up right now, though. We're working on it.
Thank you. Karan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. In the meantime, I'll introduce myself. I am Karan Smith. I am the secretary of the D3A, entering my 3rd term. I'm super excited to continue this work. I have 2 little ones at Alvarado. I have a kindergartner and a 1st grader. I went through San Jose School District, so choosing to raise my kids out here was very intentional, and that is a big part of the reason that I chose to join the D3A and continue this work. So I appreciate all the support that the board has provided thus far.
Okay, there we are. And so are we using the clicker, Gina?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So D3A was initiated from a concern for how the culture, climate, policies, and practices in New Haven stifled success and neglected the needs and contributions of Black students. The goal was to identify corrective measures for the current challenges, but also to implement sustaining preventative frameworks and structures to ensure history didn't repeat itself. We also believed it important to align the D3 objectives with the district's strategic goals for accountability and to recognize the imperative for collaboration in resolution. Thus, 6 purpose areas were identified and remain the core pillars for D3A. Create systemic processes to prepare African American students for the required A through G path to college. Incorporate practices that support the purpose into the operation of all school sites. a forum to meet and discuss without inhibition, address policies and practices that inhibit the mission, promote celebrations and recognitions, and then to develop Saturday enrichment programs.
So D3A, over this last year, we held 9 meetings on the first of the month each month, unless it was a holiday. We averaged about 20 attendees, and we had 9 schools represented in total. Each month, we did things like cultural pride activities, and we also started some student-centered programming, like our Black AP student group, which actually went to Stanford for like a field trip, which was really, really great. And this is a space where we have a safe space for Black families, and we've also continued our Dream Scholarship. This year, we've awarded $88,000 to graduating seniors since inception in 2014. Oh, thank you. And we have also strengthened our partnership with the Office of Equity, Access, and Achievement. And we can look forward to pushing forward with this office and ensuring district-wide equity goals are met. This is a couple pictures from our 2024 Kwanzaa celebration in December. This is an annual community gathering where we really honor our heritage, culture, and talk a little bit about our history. This is an opportunity for families as well as students to engage in their culture. It's a place for unity. And this also reinforces D3A's presence within New Haven and how we give back to the community.
A few things we want to highlight in terms of achievements. And one thing I failed to mention in the beginning, our 2024-2025 leadership was quite unique. We actually had 2 of our leadership roles vacant. And so we were able to continue this work and to function with half of our leadership staff. So it was Karan and I with the support of the D3A, which really speaks to the commitment of this organization to this body of work. One of our highlights last year was Black History Month. Black History Month incorporated age-appropriate activities and events across all New Haven campuses, in addition to assembling the community in celebration of Black excellence, influence, and contributions. As noted, activities were centered around weekly themes that feature different aspects of the overall Black History Month theme. We shared a calendar of events across the district as a communications tool and to establish expectations. Content was developed and presented by the D3A and made available weekly for distribution. This year, the D3A expanded its community reach by partnering with KMEL Radio. We had 2 radio personalities join the D3A at James Logan High School for a panel discussion on the cultural influence of Black music. Guests also shared their personal stories of challenge and triumph. Also in Black History Month, in alignment with the National Council of Teachers of English, the D3A hosted an African American read-in. The goal was to incorporate literacy in Black History Month while also celebrating the experience as told, the Black experience as told through stories. All school sites hosted read-in activities. Local authors and community members visited all 7 elementary schools and read books by Black authors. Afterwards, the D3A and the Office of Equity, Access, and Achievement donated books read by the participating authors as an investment into the elementary school libraries. Here we're highlighting Conley. Again, Black History Month occurred across the district. Conley's contribution for Read-In Day specifically was to host a spoken word assembly. Students and teachers shared original spoken word writings. A guest poet also contributed to the festivities. To close out Black History Month, Cesar Chavez Middle School hosted our final Black History Month event, and that was our paint party. Nearly 75 guests attended a family fun paint party night and soul food dinner.
We also had one of our executive board members from last year and one of our incoming executive board members attend CASA this year in 2025. This participation really provided an opportunity for us to benchmark New Haven's progress when it comes to the N-word initiative against other districts. It also allowed us to learn how others have implemented the N-word initiative in their districts, both in enforcement and education. And this experience was made possible by the Office of Equity, Access, and Achievement, and it allowed us to be sponsored to visit CASA this year. And then we have New Haven Day. We actually had a new community partner. Cafe 86 was a community partner this year for the D3A. And I think this just really goes to show our commitment to the community and how our role really does provide a welcoming and affirming space for all families across the district. And it shows that we have had a consistent presence within New Haven.
What is D3A's flagship event did not disappoint. The annual Black Graduation and Celebration was once again a huge success. This year's event was also an example of the expanded partnership with the Office of Equity, Access, and Achievement. The event showcased Black excellence, student talent, and student achievement. The event celebrates Black scholars promoting from 5th and 8th grades and graduating seniors. This year, in alignment with the D3A recognition and celebration goal, a new award was introduced, the Principal's Choice Award, which invited principals to highlight scholars at their school sites. We'd also like to thank Dr. Thompson and board member Pat Irby for attending and assisting with award presentations and photo ops. As you've looked at the faces of these students, parents, volunteers, and New Haven employees, I hope that you recognized a central theme: pride. Pride in Blackness, pride in having our dignity honored, pride in having Black accomplishments recognized, pride in being in a space where we know we belong. 2026 will mark the 10-year anniversary of this event, and we look forward to celebrating in grand fashion. So just to recap some of the things that Karan and I have highlighted tonight, we have celebrated with the Black Graduation and Celebration. We are again thankful to this board for continuing to sponsor the Director of Equity, Access, and Achievement. It is essential that that role continues in the district so that we may continue to achieve the goals and outcomes that are set before us. We've benchmarked through CASA, and as we move forward in 2026, we expect actually to bring some of the things that we've learned into the district to enhance our programming. We also, since it was an election year, brought in someone to help us speak with our community about the importance of participating in the voting process. We talked about the Principal's Choice Awards, and we also collaborated with the New Haven Unified School District Communications Office to refresh the D3A website. So all of our content is fresh and new and aligns with the current design standards.
So some more results. We partnered with the Office of Equity, Access, and Achievement to implement the N-word initiative in the spring semester. We also addressed issues raised by parents and staff members within our community, incidents of racism, harm, as well as we provided work around literacy and parenting tools. We provided supports for parent outreach, as well as some supports for staff with and needs for professional development. We also talked about Black History Month, which was so amazing last year. I can't say that enough. And this year we awarded $11,500 to graduating seniors. Super proud of that work. Now we're going to move on to our recommendations and our requests to the board for this year. So our first ask is to eliminate the culture of hate. With this looks like tracking wellness, both verbal and nonverbal communications, collecting data on dignity violations and N-word incidents to show trends and focus efforts, provide consistent accountability measures at all school sites, ensure leadership support so this work translates into on-campus action and student impact, and provide protections for students and teachers who do come forward to report. The goal is to have 80% of parent and student compacts signed and returned at each school. And again, I want to emphasize the importance of collecting data so we know where to focus our efforts as we move forward.
Research consistently reveals that successful investing is a disciplined, long-term endeavor based on empirical principles, not emotion or speculation. The D3A asks the board to invest in Black success. Invest your time, invest monetarily in programming, policy implementations, and financial matters that promote Black wellness across the district. Moreover, we ask that you invest in quality decision-making that ensures sustainable success for our community. Thank you very much. We now open it to questions and comments.
Do any board members have questions or comments? Trustee Irby?
Thank you, Lillian. And I just want to remind you that I was there 10 years ago putting the sound system together at Alvarado. Well, it was Alvarado Middle at the time. So welcome D3A and congratulations on your current status here in our district. It's been a long traveled road. We've got a long way to go.
Thank you.
Trustee Freeberg?
I just wanted to recognize the tremendous amount of work that went into doing this work and putting this presentation together. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Trustee Ruffe?
So I attended the D3A meeting yesterday. It was like very informative and a lot to learn. And it was very comforting to see the work that is being put in to deal with the N-word initiative and also the heartbreaking incident that took place at Pioneer Elementary, like the swastika and like the N-word, like it's not acceptable. And the district is really taking that action on that. And I appreciate that. And I very much appreciate all the work being done by our district and D3A for our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the terrific work you do. It goes a long, long way to make our students feel like they belong here. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have a presentation on the highlights of the unaudited actuals for fiscal year 24-25.
Good evening, President Kumar, members of the board, Dr. Thompson. I'm Kevin Franklin, Assistant Superintendent of Business, here to present our unaudited actuals for 24-25 fiscal year. So what does that mean? Basically, the Ed Code states that by September 15th, we have to have the essentially closing of our books approved by the board and submitted to the County Office of Education for review and then submission to the state of California by October 15th. So I'm sure everybody's familiar with this particular chart of the budget cycle. We're at the tail end of the budget cycle for 24-25. So even though we're already well into the new fiscal year and the new school year, we're still in the process of closing out last year and coming up with those ending fund balances for all of our accounts, and then incorporating those changes into our current year budget and multi-year projections that we will present at first interim in December. So these are the topics that I'll discuss over the next few slides, pretty typical from previous presentations. We'll start off with the revenue sources and where our money came from. You can see through this chart, most of our funds come from the LCFF, with that being the biggest portion of our dollars. And then you can see how it's split between other local revenue, state revenue, and federal being the smallest piece of the revenue pie that we get. And so what I do want to mention is that both for our revenues and our expenditures, we came within less than 1% variance from our estimated actuals projections, which I don't think over the past 10 years plus that we've come that close. So, you know, the team did a really good job of projecting at estimated actuals and having accurate data when it came to closing out our books for this year. So that was really good. We didn't have any major fluctuations. And the one major fluctuation that you do see there, since it does look like a big number of a little over $1 million in variance, was mostly due to earned interest and adjustments in lottery revenues that we received. We received a higher dollar amount per ADA for Lotto than had originally been projected. So good job on closing, estimating the revenues by the business department staff. On the expenditure side, you can see the distribution of our expenses, specifically with salaries and benefits, since that's the bulk of our expenditures within the district. And so you can see the difference between the unrestricted percentage of salaries and benefits. The percentage of unrestricted salaries and benefits to expenditures was 87%, and combined with our restricted expenditures is about 80% of our budget. So overall, that's within the range of what we would want to see. We'd want to be closer to the 80% overall of our expenditures and budget being spent on salaries and benefits. That's where most districts that have balanced budgets land with their salaries and benefits. So we're in a good spot. I do want to point out, though, that when compared to the revenues that we're receiving, our expenditures on salaries and benefits are about 85% versus 80%. And I point that out just because in a balanced budget world where we're not having the deficit spend, that's where our percentage would lie. So when you're comparing it just to our expenditures, if you're deficit spending, it could kind of skew what those numbers look like a little bit. So when taking our revenues into consideration and what we're actually receiving for the year, we're right at that higher end range of our salaries and benefits in proportion to revenues. Moving forward, contributions to balance other programs. So we make contributions to balance some of the programs that we do not have sufficient funding for. So the major one being special education. So you can see the amount of general fund contribution to special education, just under $22 million. And then the contribution for special education transportation is around 2.6. And then routine restricted maintenance, that's a required contribution for our restricted maintenance. And that came in at $5 million. There was a slight contribution to our child nutrition program, which was actually in the positive this year. And that contribution was just due to a correction of indirect costs that were charged to that program. So not an actual contribution that was needed. We just needed to offset indirect costs that were charged incorrectly there. Ending balances in the general fund, you can see how close we came with our ending fund balances from estimated actuals to unaudited actuals. So a variance of just under $500,000 there. So very close estimate when we closed and did our budget this past June. And then this is just a breakdown of what makes up the 37 million ending fund balance within our unrestricted dollars. So again, a slight increase to that. So we're in a really good position this year and moving forward within our multi-year projection that you'll see at first interim. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the ending fund balance trend and how close we've come within estimating those balances at the end of the year. You can see how that's varied throughout the past 10 plus years, and that this year we came within that 1% that I mentioned earlier on both revenues and expenditure side. And so you can see how that impacts our fund balance. And then year-end standards and compliance. These are just compliance standards that we have to meet. So CEA is current cost of education within the classroom. And so there's a required minimum expenditure requirement of 55% of our budget needs to be spent within the classroom. And so we do meet that at 58%. That's the biggest one to see on here. And then the other one is that we're meeting our maintenance of effort requirements within special education. So what's next for 24-25? We've officially closed our books for 24-25, and now we will proceed with having the final audited figures presented to the board in December or January. Any questions about our unaudited actuals for this year?
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yeah, the variances in revenue due to higher earned interest and higher lottery allocation, is that because more people are playing The lottery?
No, so the lot, yeah, so at the end of each fiscal year, the state does, their true up numbers on as far as the lottery revenues received, and then they reallocate based on their revenues that they've received to distribute to schools. So we go based off of the estimates that they put out throughout the year, and then usually that fourth quarter, they do a true up, and there's sometimes slight adjustments to that. In this case, it was in the positive for us. Any other questions?
All right, thank you, Mr. Franklin.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to item 10A. We will now convene a public hearing to receive public testimony regarding the sufficiency of instructional materials 2025-26. Speakers will be given 2 minutes to make comments on this matter and this matter only. Are there any speakers? Are there any speakers on Zoom? Thank you. There being no speakers, the public hearing regarding the sufficiency of instructional materials 2025-26 is now closed. Item 11A, we have an informational item on the annual investment report for fiscal year 24-25. Is that just information?
It's just information.
Next up is item 11B, items from the board and superintendent. I will start from the far end. Student trustee Gonzalez.
Hello? Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope that we're all doing well today. The last time you saw me, I was incredibly sick, so I have to speak more eloquently about upcoming events. Since our last meeting, the James Logan High School Leadership Program has continued to thrive. We put on an incredible back-to-school rally. Our senior class cabinet organized an amazing senior sunrise, and we've had a very successful class kick-it to announce our overall and individual class themes. We've also had 2 insanely spirited student sections for our first 2 football games at Logan, where we've garnered over 500,000 views on social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Homecoming week is ahead of us, and we're trying something new for the very first time. Rather than having Loganland, a tradition where each class decorates a designated section of campus, we're hosting fun games in Colt Court Monday through Thursday. This is just so that we're not using all of our resources that we have in leadership as far as paint goes. We drain a lot of money out of our account from Loganland. So we're very excited to hopefully create a new tradition with these activities in the court. And we're very eager to navigate the homecoming dance, as this year is going to be the very first time that we host it on our football field, which means no heels. We've also welcomed our freshman class cabinet, and we had an incredibly successful election week. I've been in the leadership program for 4 years, and I've never seen so much engagement and participation. Before I end, I want to give 2 spots of recognition, one to our girls flag football team. They're just, yes. They're just dominating the game. I believe they haven't lost yet, and I'm so excited to see them continue to blossom throughout the year and in future years here at Logan. And one more spot of recognition, one to Miss Gina, who's been so incredibly kind and welcoming to both Nadia and I. And yes, thank you for your time. And yes, I do have a mint in my mouth, sorry.
Student trustee Kissy.
Hello, I hope you all been well. I'm Nadia, I'm from Conley, and I just wanted to update you all on what we've been doing there. So our positive behavior store DRIP has been open every Friday. Our students are earning points for being determined, respectful, and taking initiative, being punctual, which is what DRIP stands for. Our first field trip is tomorrow to the Giants game. We're using our DRIP points to attend the game. The clubs we have at Conley, Aztec Dance and Drum Club, Mural Club, Conley Leaders, Mixer Club, and Garden Club have all started. Fitness Club will be starting soon. All students took the math and reading NWEA test. 59 scores in math and reading have improved, and students were rewarded DRIP points. This is our first year having a flag football team. It's co-ed, and we won our first game, lost our second game, and have another game this week. So that's what's been going on at Conley. Thank you.
Nice. Trustee Gonzalez.
I'll wait to my committee report to share out. So.
Okay, trustee Irby.
I'd just like to shout out to the Puente project, or Puente program at James Logan High School. I was invited by their student board, Michael Gardner, and Counselor Marty Cruz Mesa, to attend their picnic, their Labor Day picnic at Kennedy Park. It was very well attended. They have 2 cohorts of 250 students in the program, and they just have a wonderful program, and the parents were very inviting, and they had a lot of comments of a lot of positive comments about where their kids are going and what they want to do with their future. So it's very exciting to see our students in action and see our families in the park with their students.
Thank you. Trustee Freeberg?
I had the pleasure of attending Hillview Crest Back to School Night on August 20th. It is a real pleasure to meet the students, families, and educators there. I really feel like Hillview Crest is a hidden gem, and I'm awed at the level of academic growth the administration and staff focus on. I met a few other library kids like me and love the level of engagement from families and staff. I also wanted to speak tonight about the recent resolution from NHTA and public comments on social media from NHTA members. Truthfully, I debated speaking up tonight on this topic. There has been a lot of pressure to not speak up and to stop asking questions. The general sense of these comments and this resolution from NHTA gives this board trustees the directive to look away, not question, or we will be perceived as not supporting our students. To be clear, my public comment in the last meeting was about my disappointment that the process and policy were not followed at multiple levels, resulting in non-compliance with the law. As stewards for this district, we should always operate with an abundance of caution when considering both risk and conflicts of interest. Efforts to get the board in compliance with the law was deemed as non-collaborative. I have 2 minor children enrolled in this district, one of them being special needs. Considering that I'm a board member and the parent of a special needs child, I am acutely aware of the possibility of this issue having a negative impact on my children. I am also acutely aware of the privilege and responsibility that comes with being an elected member of this board. To NHTA, the community, and my constituents, I want to be clear. I am always going to advocate for due diligence and abundance of caution and compliance with the law. Thank you.
Vice President Rafe?
Thank you. So on August 29th, we had the governance study session by Lee, who helped us understand many aspects of highly functional board. And the incident at Pioneer Elementary against Jewish and African-American families is not acceptable in our district. There's no room for racism or hate in our schools. And to answer, I was questioned about item 13S on August 12th meeting. So I voted in favor of GHS law firm, and I stand firm in my decision, as our district have long trusted relationship with them, as before taking decision on not approving the extension of legal services agreement with Garcia Hernandez Swanning LLP for fiscal year 25-26, we had not had the opportunity to hear from the firm directly. And as for Trustee Gonzalez's case, it's being investigated by DA's office. He has always shown integrity and stood for the right causes. I have great respect for him. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I have a few updates. I attended back to school night at 2 elementary sites, and it's always fun to do that. One of my favorite things to do at back to school night, especially at the elementary school sites, is to ask the kids what their favorite part of school is, right? So I'm just going to share a few. The most popular one was recess. So we're doing something right. Other popular responses were my teacher, media, lunch. And I have to share this. There was one really cute kindergarten student, super excited. And I asked him, do you like school? And he goes, yes, I love school. So I asked him, what's your favorite part? Because I thought, he's going to give me something different. And he says, my favorite part is when I get to go home. And I was like, so it was really fun. I love back to school nights at elementary sites. Labor Day was last week, and I wanted to share that I walked with my Union City community. I saw many of you there. Yes, we honored the pride of working people. I'm proud and thankful to be part of my union where I work and teach, AFT 6554, shout out. Last update, I will be chairing the New Haven Fun Run again. Yes, this is my third or fourth year doing it. It's a lot of work. And every time I feel like I will not take this on again. But, when I look at the impact it has on our students, I can't not do it. So I'm back. If anyone is interested in serving on the committee, I'll take all the help I can get. So please reach out. That's it for me.
Okay, I have a couple updates. First, I think it was Ms. Crocker-Root who mentioned a barbecue coming up. We're starting something different this year as part of our fourth goal of our strategic plan, which is around families. We are starting what we're calling a family collaborative, a series where we're going to have structured meetings throughout the year. We're inviting our families to come. We've invited our current different parent groups to be part of this as well. We're kicking that collaborative off on the 18th. That's a Thursday at 6 p.m. We have some food. We have different parent groups coming, and then we'll go into what that looks like for the rest of the year. So if you're interested in coming, please, every Friday update I put out, there's a link to how to register for that. And we're looking forward to this new structure to support our families as part of our goal. So that's will be fun. Measure N, the Logan design process is underway. We have a group of about 40 people, more than 40 people, I think, that are coming together to start the design process. And once that work is done, there'll be some community input opportunities as well. Once the scope of the project starts to be defined a bit, and that'll all take place throughout the fall. So we're excited about that. And lastly, I'd like to thank D3A. We've had a good collaboration over the last, this is now going in 7 years. We've tackled some tough stuff, but we've done a lot. And I'm really looking forward to continuing that partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. We're going to move on to item 12, committee reports. We'll begin with the Finance, Technology, and Facilities Committee. Trustee Irby. Gonzalez.
Yeah, so first off, I want to apologize for being late. Tonight I had my back to school night, and so running through the schoolyard and to hurry up and get over here. So yeah, so during the this is the first time Mr. Franklin was, I got to meet him. We had our committee report, and it was just going over the 2024-25 unaudited actuals, kind of the same presentation he did tonight. We went over Measure M and all the completed projects. There's a lot to be listed there. Measure M, ongoing projects, and then talked about Measure N, and I don't want to, I think our superintendent's going to talk about the modernization of James Logan. I'll let him speak on that. And then we had the board had a governance session last month, and one of the things, the takeaway from there was to always adhere to board policy, and as opposed to past practices. And so one of the items at the committee meeting was renaming of the Little League field, and past practices were a little different. And so we were gonna, the decision was to adhere to district policy, and this district policy would refer to the facilities itself, to the proper channels that go to the facilities, or that particular facility where the field or whatever is being named. And so that was decided there, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez. Next is the Communication and Advocacy Committee. The next meeting is Thursday this week, September 11th at 4 p.m. Trustee Freeberg and I will be in attendance. Policy Review Committee, Trustee Rafay and I attended the meeting on September 2nd, and Trustee Rafay will report out.
So during our September 2nd meeting, there were 17 board policies that were there for revision. Of them, one was pulled for further review, and also 2 new policies were added for review. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? Trustee Rafay?
MVROP next meeting is scheduled for September 11th. New Haven Schools Foundation, next meeting scheduled for September 22nd. Mutt Strut is scheduled for September 20th. You still have a chance to buy your tickets and enjoy a serene walk at Masonic Homes with your furry family, and you both can make new friends and win prizes. The ticket sales from this event directly helps our district teachers and students. And Shrees Crocker is here. She's got the flyers if you want to take them. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rafay. Any other committee reports? All right, we're going to move on to action items then. Item 13A, may I have a volunteer to read resolution number 009-2526, Filipino American History Month, October 2025.
New Haven Unified School District Board of Education Resolution Number 009-2526, Filipino American History Month, October 2025. Whereas this is an appropriate time to promote and reflect on the richness of the Filipino and Filipino American history and culture, and to provide all Americans with the opportunity to learn, appreciate, and honor Filipino Americans and their historic and social contributions to the United States. And whereas the New Haven Unified School District is the first in the nation to name a school after Filipino farm leaders Larry Itliong and Philip Vera Cruz. And whereas it is essential to instill in our youth the importance of education, history, and cultural identity in creating role models, establishing pride, and nurturing exceptional citizens. And whereas the Filipino American National Historical Society established Filipino American History Month in 1988, and since then, communities across the United States and its territories have celebrated every October to commemorate the arrival of the first Filipinos on U.S. soil and to honor their heritage and contributions. And whereas the Filipino American service men and service women have a long-standing history of serving honorably in the armed forces from the Civil War to the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts, and whereas the earliest documented presence of Filipinos in the continental United States occurred on October 18th, 1587, when mariners known as Luzon Indios under Spanish command landed in Morro Bay, California. And whereas today the Filipino American community is the second largest Asian American group in the United States with an estimated population of 3.4 million. And whereas the city of Union City has an estimated 14,000 Filipinos and Filipino Americans who have made a profound impact on California's history, values, and culture. And whereas the Filipino community played an important role in Union City's agricultural history, helping to shape its economy and landscape. And whereas the immigrants from the Philippines and their families have enriched our nation through their work in agriculture, their service in the armed forces, their expertise as engineers, scientists, educators, health professionals, and their leadership in civic and community life. And whereas in November 2009, the 111th Congress of the United States officially recognized October as Filipino American History Month, now therefore be it resolved that the New Haven Unified School District proclaims October 2025 as Filipino American History Month in honor and recognition of the culture, history, culture, and contributions of Filipino Americans. Passed and adopted by this following vote this 9th day of September 2025.
Thank you, Trustee Irby. May I have a motion and second to approve resolution number 009-2526, Filipino American History Month, October 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13B, may I have a volunteer to read resolution number 010-2526, LGBTQIA+ History Month, October 2025?
Sure.
Trustee Freeburg?
New Haven Unified School District Board of Education, Resolution Number 10-2526, LGBTQIA+ History Month, October 2025. Whereas Rodney Wilson, a high school teacher from St. Louis, founded the first LGBTQIA+ History Month in 1994 to celebrate and teach lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, and allied history. And whereas October is a significant month in LGBTQIA+ history, with National Coming Out Day, October 11th, Intersex Awareness Day, October 26th, and Asexual Awareness Week, last week of October. October also marks the anniversaries of the first and second national marches on Washington for lesbian and gay rights held in 1979 and 1987. And whereas the LGBTQIA+ community has advanced civil rights in the United States and globally, as exemplified by Bayard Rustin, an openly gay African-American man who worked as a strategist with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., risked his life in anti-racist protests, and contributed decades of leadership to the civil rights and peace movements. And whereas the LGBTQIA+ and Hispanic communities share intersecting histories, both celebrated in October, with notable figures involving Sylvia Rivera, Frida Kahlo, Reynaldo Arenas, Dennis De Leon, Gloria Anzaldua, and Pedro Zamora. And whereas, apologies for that, the modern LGBTQIA+ rights movement was catalyzed by the Stonewall Uprising on June 28, 1969, in New York City in response to police harassment and discrimination. This movement was led by transgender activists Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, who also created a trans rights group and provided refuge for LGBTQIA+ homeless youth. And whereas an earlier milestone in LGBTQIA+ resistance was the Compton Cafeterias riots in August 1966 in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco, led by transgender women of color in response to police harassment of drag queens and transgender people. And whereas the New Haven Unified School District remains committed to its mission of providing equitable student learning and achievement, academic excellence, and workforce development by delivering high-quality educational programs and support services to our diverse communities, which include the LGBTQIA+ communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education honors our diverse LGBTQIA+ communities and reaffirms our commitment to creating an environment in which all individuals are supported and nurtured, and be it further resolved that the New Haven Unified School District recognizes October 2025 as LGBTQIA+ History Month and will fly the Rainbow Pride flag at all district locations for the month of October. Passed and adopted by the following vote this 9th day of September 2025.
Thank you, Trustee Freeburg. May I have a motion and second to approve resolution number 010-2526, LGBTQIA+ History Month, October 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13C, may I have a motion and second to approve the unaudited actuals financial report for fiscal year 2024-25?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13D, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0082526, sufficiency of instructional materials for the 2025-26 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13E, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0112526, board trustee absence from meeting on August 11, 2025 due to hardship, authorization to pay trustee Gonzalez?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Motion carries. Item 13F, may I have a motion and second to approve a memorandum of understanding between California School Employees Association, Washington Township Chapter 61, and New Haven Unified School District?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13G, may I have a motion and second to approve the new job description for student nutrition senior lead?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13H, may I have a motion and second to approve Proposition 28, Arts and Music in Schools Funding Annual Report 2024-25?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13I, may I have a motion and second to approve the memorandum of understanding with Center for Social Dynamics 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13J, may I have a motion and second to approve the memorandum of understanding with Rotary Care 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13K, may I have a motion and second to approve the purchase of Project Read's UFly assessment tool and decodable text generator 2025 through 28?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion, yes.
Go ahead.
I just want to, personally, I've used this and just put a plug in for it. It's a great program, so that's it.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13L, may I have a motion and second to approve the agreement with Silicon Valley Mariachi Foundation for Cesar Chavez Middle School 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13M, may I have a motion and second to approve the memorandum of understanding with Tri-City Volunteers for Healthy Snack Program 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13N, may I have a motion and second to approve the memorandum of understanding with Tri-City Volunteers, Inc. for Mobile Food Pantry 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 13O, may I have a motion and second to approve the memorandum of understanding between California High School Speech Association and James Logan High School 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 14, are there any items from the consent agenda that any board members would like to pull for a separate vote? Seeing none, may I have a motion and second to approve items 14A through 14AI?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 15, since there was nothing removed from consent, we can move on to 16, assessment of governance procedures and protocols. Does anyone have anything related to this item? I had one. So on August 29th, we had a governance session where we went through an ethics training. It's a requirement. And they covered the Brown Act, among other things. And what's fairly new, well, relatively new to the Brown Act is with social media. So I would just like to take this opportunity to remind us, all of us, to be mindful of social media posts and, you know, the appearance of a quorum, right? Especially be mindful when there are questions asked pertaining to the district and there's a quorum and there's a response. So I think it would be good if we can all be mindful of that. Thank you. What else? Item 16, item 17, board consensus. Do any board members have a request for staff? Okay, I see many. So we'll start with trustee Irby.
Well, it just relates to our facilities committee meeting. The latter part was part of the discussion was that within the notes that we would task whichever site that the renaming was going to happen, that we would task that to that school sites committee that would be made up of staff members and community members. And so I know that there are multiple things happening at Logan. I think there are a number of names that people want to put forward, from the athletic director to community members. And so I think it's incumbent upon Dr. Thompson to have the staff at Logan put a committee together so they could bring us a recommendation of names if we're going to do something or if we're not going to do something at that particular site.
Thank you, trustee Irby. Do we have consensus? Dr. Thompson, do you have enough direction?
Yeah, I haven't received anything from Logan, but what I can do is sit down with Ron and go over the policy with him so he's clear on what needs to happen.
Thank you.
All right. Did anyone else have any requests?
I did.
Trustee Freeburg?
Yeah, I'd like the staff and my fellow board members to potentially consider moving these meetings back a half hour, so they were a half hour later. With my kid's schedule and the hope of gainful employment soon, that would be a huge benefit.
That's really a board decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have consensus to do that? Move? We don't? Okay, so why don't we do that? When is our next governance session?
Next governance session is January.
Can we add one before maybe? Because it seems like we have a few policies we need to go over.
Oh, certainly.
Would the board be open to adding a governance session before January to go over some policies?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Should we take a vote?
Let's do that.
Point of order, isn't this consensus? We
This
need
is consensus, yeah.
not a majority on here, so. And please don't take order from the audience. This is
I'm
our
not
meeting
taking
here,
order from
okay?
the audience. I'm not. Yeah. I think at this point, why don't we have staff send out an email to the board members and see if we can schedule a governance session before January, because there are some board policies we need to go over. I know there was one at PRC that came up that we also wanted to go over. All right, and then I have a request as well. I will just share a little bit of information first, and then I'll share my ask, so it's easier for you, Gina, to take notes. So I've had 3 different parents at elementary school sites share this with me. 2 were Easton, 1 was a phone call. And then today we received an email from a parent at Guy Emanuel as well. This is, about their frustration with not being able to get into Beyond the Bell or after-school care programs because there's a long wait list. There is a huge demand. This is an important part. I was a working parent when my kids were young, and Kids First was the only reason I could continue my employment. So I think it's really important, and I know the district sees that. I think we need to build capacity for this, right? There's a real need. And I think it's also in line with goals 1 and 4 of our strategic plan, right? Related to this, I came across an article by AXA. They award an Administrator of the Year award, and it was for a principal at Thornton Middle School in Fremont. And I read that she built a robust before and after school enrichment program that was funded through Prop 28. So maybe we need to get creative and try to find ways of making this happen. I know it's not easy, and I know the district wants to do this, but maybe we need to think outside the box. So my requests in terms of action and consensus, I'm asking for 3 things from staff. One is I would like to know the number of students that are enrolled in our after-school or before-school care programs in the elementary sites. And I want to start with elementary because those are younger kids and childcare is kind of important there. So that was 1. 2, I want to know how many students are on the wait lists at each elementary site, just so we have an idea of the fraction of how many are waiting. And 3, I would like to know what the biggest challenge is at every school site to expand this program. So do we have consensus? Thank you. Do you have direction? Gina, I can send it to you via email if that's easier. Yeah. All right, thank you. Any other board member requests? Trustee Rafay?
So I just like to follow up on Parent Advisory Committee that caters to our Asian and Middle Eastern families. So Lynn Thompson, could we have a table during the Welcome Back barbecue event on the 18th to take a poll as which of the Parent Advisory Committee the families are interested in?
Do we have consensus?
I'm not sure what the ask is. What?
Could we have a table during the barbecue?
A table, yes.
For the Parent Advisory Committee, for the Asian and Middle Eastern families. We do not have a Parent Advisory Committee for them.
Right. We don't, if we have parents that would like to be at the table, certainly.
Sounds good.
But we don't have any now that I know of.
All righty. Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. That brings us to the end. Seeing no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 7:57 p.m. Thanks, everyone.